Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Now, of course, the Premier League does return this weekend after the international break. Peter, I for one can't wait for this round of fixtures. There's a lot to play for. So just very quickly to preview the games, we've got Burnley taking on Manchester City, Manchester United hosting Leicester City, and Liverpool entertaining Watford. Firstly, Peter, let's take a look at City's trip to Burnley. A huge game at the top and bottom end of the table.
Yeah, a lot of people are piling on City for a big victory there. We've got City to win 5-0, it's 22-1. Burnley look all buried now. They're odds on for the drop into the Championship. They have struggled all season. They've rallied a little bit of late, but they're right down at the bottom and are looking odds on to be relegated, which would be a great shame. So to win the match, Betfred have Burnley 12-1, City 1-5, a draw 11-2, and as I say, City 5-0 is 22-1. Mahrez, who is City's top scorer, I believe, 11-4 to score first. Sterling 3-1, De Bruyne 10-3, and Foden, back from his England heroics, he's 7-2.
And at this stage of the season, given how close it is at the top end of the table, goal difference could make a huge impact come the end of the season. So, 5-0 away at Turf Moor, Burnley struggling, 22-1, it could happen.
Yeah, well, City will be looking to get the fantastic form that they've shown sort of towards the middle and the start of the season back, and we're looking to post a significant win. Because they know that Liverpool are chasing them down hard. As everybody knows, Betfred have paid out already on City to win the league, paid out before Christmas. So that cost the company £750,000. And we still have City as favourites, 4-9 to win the title, Liverpool 13-8. It all pivots on not this weekend, but next weekend when it's the game at the Etihad, when City entertain Liverpool. And a draw will do for City there, not that they'll play for a draw. And then the following week, it's the semi-final, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly is.
So there's two fantastic games up and running after this weekend. But I just can't see anything changing this weekend because Liverpool are playing Watford, who are also right at the bottom, and also and City at Burnley. So I think it'll be the same again, basically.
Of course, it's a Champions League quarter-finals kicking off next week. Do you think City will have one eye on that? Do you think Pep will be looking out for his players' fitness and the well-being? Do you think that is a priority? We keep saying that's the thing they're missing out on, City. That's the big trophy that they want. Do you think he will have one eye on that?
I think he'll try and mix the squad around to an extent. I mean, the new ruling about 5 substitutes for next season is great for the bigger clubs like City and Liverpool who are involved in all these matches at this time of the year. And City's bench is far superior than Liverpool's bench, so I think he will mix and match a little bit, maybe Sterling for Grealish, that kind of thing, just to shake things up a little bit. Gundogan will probably come in for one of the games because he's a natural fit to replace De Bruyne. So there'll be lots of that shuffling around, but keeping the player who we consider slightly better on the bench ready to come on if need be.
Well, a lot of excitement ahead of the Champions League, but this weekend, of course, it is the Premier League. So, Liverpool are taking on Watford. Watford, of course, fighting relegation this season. Doesn't look good for the Hornets, but Liverpool, they'll be wanting to welcome back Mo Salah from the disappointment of missing out on the World Cup. Do you think that will affect him at all?
I think it'll make him even more determined to keep on scoring lots of goals. He's the favourite to be for the Golden Boot come the end of the season. And the question for him is whether he'll be looking for a move because he still hasn't signed that contract. So he could be thinking to himself, well, I'm missing out on the World Cup. I've got to do it for Liverpool and or another team. Because if Liverpool don't win the Champions League or the Premier League or the FA Cup, then he might be thinking, well, are they that good? Liverpool are in for 4 piece of silverware and City are in for 3. So it is pinning down on these two huge clubs to fight it out over that pivotal week towards the end, halfway through this month.
Absolutely. Well, if you do fancy Mo Salah to bounce back from the disappointment of missing out on the World Cup and to score a hat-trick against the Hornets, he is priced with Betfred at 9-1. But just looking at the odds for the game, well, the odds speak for themselves, really, Peter. Liverpool 1-9, a draw 8-1, and Watford 18-1. So you can't really see Watford getting anything from this.
No, you can't. And I've been looking at the relegation odds at Betfred, and we have Norwich 1-100 now for the drop, Watford 1-6, Burnley 4-7. Now those are the three teams that are odds-on favourites to be relegated. And then we've got Everton, who's still not out of it. They're 9-4. Leeds rallied of late 3-1. Brentford likewise, they're 8-1. So we are thinking it's going to be Norwich, Watford, and Burnley who'll be relegated.
Well, there you go. And of course, at Old Trafford this weekend, we've got Manchester United facing Leicester City. United are 1-2, the draw is 10-3, and Leicester are 5-1. I'm looking at those odds for United, Peter, and I'm thinking, how are they coming up with such good odds for United? Because let's face it, they're not the greatest team this season.
No, and Leicester have been showing good form of late.
Yeah.
So they are unusual odds there, but you've got to bear in mind the Old Trafford crowd. That really gets behind United. And significantly, it'll be fascinating to see what happens with Harry Maguire, because he's been booed by United fans, and then England supporters took that on board and booed him to such an extent that Southgate came out to defend him. Now he's playing against his former club, Leicester, so they're about to boo him. So it's like boos all round for Harry. But I do think United fans, knowing the mentality of the average United fan, they consider United much, much more significant than England.
Yeah. So
So they'll be thinking to themselves, we're not having England setting the agenda here.
Yeah.
We'll support Harry, a bit like they did with Beckham after he got roundly condemned after the World Cup.
Yeah.
They supported their player. And I do think it'll be interesting to see what happens when Maguire goes on the pitch.
Yeah.
He'll either get booed by everybody, Leicester because he moved to United, and United fans because they've been booing him already, or United fans will come out and support him.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's not that bad a player. He's just like had a dip in form, and in that position, in the tactics that are adopted by United nowadays, he is looking more exposed. But that doesn't mean he's a bad player. He can always get a good header on a corner, for instance. And he is a significant and influential player who deserves better treatment, frankly.
Yeah, well, it's called slabhead for a reason. But like I said then, he's not been great for United this season. But when it comes to playing for England, he's not done a bad job for them. So for your home fans to boo you at Wembley, I don't understand it.
Well, the clue is in the word support. Supporter. So if you're a supporter, then you should support your team, which is England.
Yeah.
I mean, how you can start booing a significant member of that team at this stage with 7 or is it 6 games to go before the Qatar World Cup?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I mean, do we want to win the World Cup, or do we want to sort of like make a point about a Manchester United player and boo him and knock his confidence in a key position?
Absolutely.
So in that game, United, as you say, are 1-2 to beat Leicester. Leicester 5-1. Now that isn't a bad bet, frankly. You can imagine Vardy going up against said Maguire, his big mate, who called him slaphead in the first place. Now, Vardy's 5-1 to score the first goal. That is not a bad bet. Ronaldo 5-2 to score first. Cavani, Fernandes, who's got a new contract now, and Rashford are all 4-1. Rashford is such a key player there because he has got to suddenly get that form. Otherwise, he won't be getting on the plane. There'll be no flight for him to Qatar. He'll be staying back here in Manchester or beyond because he's got to get his form back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, they are the odds for Manchester United against Leicester City in the late kick-off on Saturday night. But as we touched upon then, it is the World Cup in Qatar in December this year. Of course, the draws for that event are being made at 5 o'clock later today. And if you do want the latest odds ahead of the event, Betfred will have those odds later today. Well, we're going to move now into some Super League news. Of course, last weekend it was the Challenge Cup. However, we do return to league action. We did last night actually. And Wigan have knocked St Helens off the perch. They've moved to the top for the first time this season. An entertaining clash, Peter. They won it in the dying seconds.
Well, what a fantastic game that was against Hull FC. One of the best games so far this season. It was 18-all, and then Wigan got that drop goal and won it by by the 1 point. So it was a tremendous advertisement for Betfred Super League. It hasn't really affected the odds for the grand final glory, because Saints are still the favourites for that, to do it 4 times on the run. They're 11-8 with Betfred to win the grand final. Catalans 3-1. Wigan have been cut slightly now, having gone top with that with the points in the bag. They're 4-1. Warrington slipping quite dramatically now. They're 7-1. Hull FC rallied, but they're still 16-1 for the title. Huddersfield are the dark horses in all that. They're 20-1. They're doing extremely well this season. So tonight we've got Leeds entertaining St Helens. Leeds struggling and are at the bottom half of the table, and people just can't get their head around that. But they're going to rally at some point and get back into it. They're 9-2 to beat the Saints tonight, but St Helens 1-6 to win. So I can only see a St Helens victory there, and that they'll go back equal top with Wigan.
An entertaining counter on the horizon. So Leeds Rhinos, as Peter said, they're 9-2. The draw 28-1, and for St Helens to win that one away from home, they are classed as 1-6. Well, we're going to take a look now at one big winner this week, because David Thornyworth from Birmingham has scooped £99,000 off a tenfold accumulator. And Peter, when you look at the accumulator itself, he was sweating to the very last minute.
Well, it was. Bizarrely, it took him about 10 minutes to sort out his keeping. He's a greengrocer, so naturally enough, being able to say he knows his onions.
There you go.
Well, why to get that one in? But anyway, he did win £99,000. I mean, it was a big bet. He put £200 on. But the last game, and the result didn't come until the 98th minute. So there's 8 minutes of additional time there. It was between Dover and Wrexham scored twice in the additional time.
Yeah.
So that his bet stayed alive, and he won £99,000. He's been telling me that he's going to go to India for his holidays, and he told me on Wednesday that he hadn't actually told his wife. So
He's going to be in for a shot there, isn't he?
So he's taking her out for a meal, and he's going to reveal all that he's won all this money. He says he'll get a lot of people banging on his door. He's a great granddad, so he'll be getting all his family around, and he's going to treat everybody.
Excellent stuff. Great news. Now, just very quickly before we finish today, the Pride of Tameside Sports Awards are set to return on Friday, the 30th of September at Duckingfield Town Hall. And I recently caught up with Active Tameside's Andy Dwyer to get the latest information ahead of the event.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, Mark. After 2 years, obviously, of absence. So we were launching the event again. So the event this year will be on Friday the 30th of September at Duckingfield Town Hall. And obviously, like you say, it's a celebration. It's to recognise all the many volunteers within our community sports clubs and physical activity groups within Tameside. Monday the 4th of April, all the nomination process will open. There's various ways you can nominate somebody. So the nomination forms will be placed basically on 2 websites. So the first one's activetameside.com, obviously with the 3 W's before it. And then the second one where we're going to place the nomination forms is tamesidesportsnetwork.co.uk. You can also request nomination forms by email at tsportsnetwork@activetameside.com.
Well, excitement is building ahead of that event. And as Andy said then, nominations are set to open on Monday, the 4th of April. So if you do want to nominate a club or individual for this year's event, you can head to our website, www.questmedianetwork.co.uk. Well, I'm afraid that's it for this week's Sports Talk. However, if you do fancy a punt on any of the fixtures this weekend, Betfred stores are now open, but you can also bet online via their app.